Good evening. Thanks all for gathering here today to mark the World Health Organization's World Mental Health Day, which has been declared by WHO and also now by our union government. Mental health is very often associated with psychologists and psychologists like myself and psychiatrists as well, and the work that we do. But on a university campus like IITB, I think the focus needs to be much more on preventive mental health, such that students are empowered to raise their emotional quotient and manage their well-being. In this context, having heard Mr. Mickey Mehta before on holistic mental health, I thought it was only appropriate that I invite him on our campus to celebrate the World Mental Health Day. But before I invite him to speak, let's take a quick look at what our own students think about issues that trouble them on campus. Our students have prepared some videos, which now they will be playing.
Once in a week, हफ्ते में 4-5 बार बात हो जाती है. 4-5 times each day.
दिन में 2 बार तो बात कर ही लेती हूँ. Once in a day or once in 2 days.
I talk to my parents once in 3 days.
I speak with my parents about once every week.
I talk to my parents once a week.
I don't remember the last time I slept for 8 hours, and
after the last mid-sem.
I don't remember when I slept for more than 8 hours.
8 महीना पहले.
Sunday before the set, yeah.
Around 7 or 8 days.
The last time I apologized was on the weekend. I went home and apologized to my friends. About 1 week ago.
After SDL, it's a month.
I cried every time I got my exam.
1 year back on my birthday, previous birthday.
In front of someone, not in front. I don't remember.
Around 2 months back.
Thanks, Pramod, and thanks, Vision, for preparing the videos. And as you saw, many students are not sleeping enough and probably then being drowsy during the day. Many of them are not expressing their emotions with friends, with family. They're not, say, being able to cry or whatever. So these are some issues that we thought that we would tackle over this whole campaign that we are running in terms of stigma against mental counseling and asking for help. Now it gives me great pleasure to introduce Mr. Mickey Mehta, the Chairman and MD of Mickey Mehta's 360-degree Wellness Temple. Mr. Mickey Mehta is India's leading holistic health guru and life coach for over 30 years, with a very successful 13-year-old association with Femina Miss India, and he has contributed to bringing in many international crowns to India. He promotes the healing systems of meditation and prayer science explicitly and has been spreading his powerful new mantra for the world, which is, "Let wellness be the religion number one." Mr. Mickey Mehta endeavors to create a disease-free world, and his establishing 14 wellness centers are testament for the same. He relentlessly propagates his wisdom that is summarized by his well-known phrase, "A wellness revolution for human evolution." His fitness mantra, "Mickeymize Your Life," is all about healing people live their life to the fullest, mentally, physically, and spiritually. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's all get Mickey-mized.
Now I understand why the hall is not completely full, sir, because this is not Chetan Bhagat speaking on half-girlfriend. Well, he's a fellow intellectual, and of course, I have a great regard and respect for him. He's a friend too. But hi, how are you? Hello. You know, the things I picked up, I normally learn a lot and go wherever I go to share. So my first thing is my antennas are open, what to absorb. I'm like a sponge. And we are all students in time space. Okay, we are all students, we are constantly learning. So there's lots to learn, lots to pick up from here. One of the things I picked up out of the 7-8 things was that we should express. So we should connect. Okay, we should bond. Intimacy is probably the biggest gift of life which can help you evolve better. So intimacy of the minds, intimacy of the hearts, barriers, distances to be dropped, to be dissolved rather. Egos to be annihilated, becoming a spirit first, then the mind, then the body. Because you are a soul, you are a spirit, you have the body. This is what Buddha's old adage goes like that. So friends, love you all. I hope you love me back, though I don't expect, but love begets love. And love is the strongest breathing ground for all growth, because it gives you growth of emotions, it gives you growth of thoughts, and love can bring maximum creativity to fore. Maximum creativity. The joy quotient, the fulfillment quotient, dealing out of your heart, being absolutely strong here gives you a lot of self-confidence also, because you feel that you are a magician, you are a miracle maker, and you can make everything work. You can basically harmonize everything. Love is very important for harmonizing. In the recent 10 years, I would say last 20 years, lots into philosophy. I've delved lots into philosophy in my 32-year-old journey in wellness business. But in the recent 10 years, lots into science. And myself, probably, just barely a matriculate. But my deep interest in connecting dots between the science, which is evolving, taking quantum leaps, as we speak about quantum mechanics taking quantum leap, and connecting that with the old ancient philosophy of spirituality, and they are coming so much together. They are coming so much together, becoming one. A day will come when there will be probably theory of everything, and I don't know whether we'll rest then or we'll be more restless that there's nothing more to research. Anyway, so coming to one more most important thing here, which I saw, sleep for mental well-being. Now we'll come to the word well-being, but let's talk about the mind and why sleep is so important. I would say sleep is a terminology which is very, very at the lowest denomination. I would use the word meaningful rest. Now, meaningful rest means that before you hit the sack, before you get into deep slumber, it is just not the sleep of your biomechanical body, but it is you disconnect from the last moment, from the last hour, from the day, from the week, from weeks, from the months, years, life and lives. You literally have to breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. Many of you must have realized that as you breathe out consciously, you begin to release tensions. You begin to release tensions, physical tensions, okay, toxins from the body, your biochemistry changes, shift in your consciousness, attention coming to fore, breathing rhythm coming into place, and gradually the whole orchestration getting integrated and becoming one orchestration, alive, conscious. Your focus, attention, concentration, awareness expands, your perspectives get deeper. So, before you sleep, I would say breathe out, and relax your breathing, slow down your breathing, make it rhythmic, because the stress of the day, the stretching out, running hither thither, the chase, the maze, literally reduces you from being a human being to becoming a paranoid humanoid. And your breathing becomes erratic. And when your breathing is erratic, that is where we say you've tipped the balance. There is stress. Why? Because there is no rhythm in your breath. If there is no rhythm in your breath, there is no steady stream of thoughts which you will get. You will not attract creative thoughts in that stress. Your digestion, your circulation, your oxygenation will get compromised. Your elimination of toxins will get compromised. You will get constricted. You will not be an expanded being. Your perception, awareness and consciousness will not be large. So, very important before we sleep, cut out, breathe out your physical tensions, breathe out your psychological tensions, breathe out your emotional stress. So not just breathe out the last moment, but the hour, last day, last days, weeks, months, years, life and lives. You have to sleep like a baby with a clean slate. Like an innocent child sleeping when she's 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. Now the science says that a baby in mother's womb is asleep for 24 hours, for 9 months and some days, okay? No sooner the baby is out, the baby sleeps for 23 hours. Then the baby sleeps for 22 hours a day. Then the baby sleeps for 21 hours a day. And very gradually, the baby assumes the cycle of a normal human being by the time we become 7, 8, 9, 10, and we come into an 8-hour cycle. Now, there is a little rationale in the 8-hour cycle. The rationale is that 24 hours a day, 16 hours of wakefulness, awake, and versus 8 hours of rest, meaningful rest. So for every 2 hours that you are awake, you need 1 hour to recover, rejuvenate. Now what happens typically in a sleep? If you had a very early dinner, which is if sattvic in nature, if vegetarian in nature, I'm saying if, then you digest it very early, and if you have it before sunset, before your body begins to ebb, because with sunrise your energies rise, because when the sun rays hit your pineal gland, the generation of energy happens in the body, okay, at the glandular level. And as the sun begins to ebb at sunset, your energies begin to ebb. So when your energies begin to ebb, your digestive system is not at its best. So should you eat by sunset? Should you eat sattvic? Should you eat in a very happy frame of mind? Celebration. You know, food should be celebration, life should be celebration, studying should be celebration, research should be celebration, invention should be a celebration, everything should be a celebration, because a celebration creates a magnetic field around you, a field of heavy attraction, alignment, okay, creativity. So, eventually, a good 8 hours of meaningful rest will restore your biorhythms. We will heal you from the previous day of wear and tear. There's a lot of anabolic, catabolic activity going on in the body. So it will heal you from the wear and tear. So typically when the food is already pre-digested and you're relaxed and you sleep, your brain will switch off faster, your other functions will gradually switch off faster. Then you will probably breathe 4 to 6 breaths a minute as you get into a deep slumber. In Sanskrit it is called Turiya Avastha. When gradually you get into that, it is called theta, no? State, theta, mental state. So slipping in gradually in that state. And then when you get up after that 7-8 hours sleep, you are fresh like a daisy. You are bursting with creativity. Why? Because there is discontinuity. There is a law in physics on discontinuity. That discontinuity brings continuity, and that seamlessness is the continuum of life, which is constantly creating, regenerating, integrating, wholesome, etc. So sleep very important. I spoke about food also briefly. Coming to why expressing, communicating like a call to your parents. Why is it important? Basically, you know what? We, in today's time and age, very few people talk and fewer than them listen. We are constantly doing gibberish and hearing. We've forgotten to express. A human being so alive, so conscious, full of spirit, inspired from within, knows only to express. And if that quality in you dies, your basic creativity, your process, your thought process, your process of creativity, your process of research, doing anything in a structured way, will get impeded to a very great extent. Expression liberates you. You know, even if a woman doesn't love you, but you get a chance to say, I love you, you can go back home and sleep easy. Rather than carrying it with you and thinking over it, what will happen when I say, whether she'll accept or not, doesn't matter. You express. So, expressing, especially connecting with the parents where there is an emotional bond. I can't explain this to you scientifically, but there are some cases I have researched and learned. That a rabbit in one laboratory in Russia was being operated upon, and a mother rabbit 80 kilometers away at the same time was monitored for its heart rate fluttering and going up. The moment scalpel was about to, slash, and the heartbeats went up here, the mother rabbit's heartbeat went up there. There is some kind of connect. There is some kind of connect. Thoughts are particles. Emotion is also an energy. So emotional thoughts are also particles. Emotional feelings are also energy particles. And these energy particles are alive and conscious. Okay, something happens to the soldier on the front, and the mother wakes up at 4:30 with a shock and saying, I hope my son is fine. At the same moment, or maybe a little here and there. A wife is pining for her long distance husband who's on a ship, and she gets a call at the same time. I mean, they look coincidences, But if you really put all the energy and information together, it will make a lot of meaning. You will make a lot of meaning out of it. So coming to the point, please express yourself to your parents, especially when you are away. Your friends, your parents, your beloved, use as much time to express, to love, to give love, take love, share, care. It is such a constructive, creative energy. It supports your studies. It supports your time spent here. It gives you a different kind of joy. Your days go by fast. The experience of time from the observer's perspective and observer's experiential moments, it passes and flies. Otherwise, this can become so long and so trying. It can become an ordeal. So, what we saw here, that very few people said that once in 2 days, once in 3 days, once a week, my God. In today's world of information and technology, you should be speaking to your beloved ones almost every day, or at least on social media, not 24/7. Sometimes of the day, like in the mornings or maybe at night before you go to bed, you connect. Because with connectivity only, there is evolution. Evolutionary impulse cannot get an impetus if there is no connectivity. Get my point? So that is the point on expressing. So there was sleep I addressed, there was expression I addressed, there was love I addressed. One more thing, Shivani, what was that? The one more thing out of the 7, 8. Very important. Crying. I cry too. At any age. We don't have to forget that we have to remain, how much ever we may get matured here, but we have to remain children at heart. We have to keep that innocence intact. You ought to have the freedom to have an uninhibited laughter anytime, break out anywhere. Don't hold back. Because from birth, you are a child and you should remain a child at heart. So be sensitive to laughter, be sensitive to emotions and cry, because when you cry out completely, that is the time you take a deep, you heave a sigh of relief. There's a shift in breathing very naturally, biomechanically. And then suddenly you're over it because you've emptied yourself. It's like you've eaten till the, absolutely to the brim. You've eaten so much, the best of food. And then you feel like vomiting, but with the fear of vomiting, you carry that food, you don't vomit, you struggle, you breathe, you do this, you do that, you sit in bed, you take, antacid, and you keep praying, oh God, oh mommy, my vomit should not come, feeling the discomfort. I would rather say, if the vomit is happening, if it is a part of your being, if that is a stimuli, you need to respond to that stimuli. Respond to every stimuli. Neuro-linguistic programming says, respond to every stimuli freely. So vomit it out. Now, no sooner you vomit it out, trust me, you breathe easy and you can sleep well. But should you not vomit, you will not be able to sleep well. Similarly, crying is like an emotional vomit. From the deepest, from the deepest parts of your heart, breathe it out. Cry it out loud. You don't need a person. The best way and the best place to cry out is go to Mother Nature. You IITians are so blessed. I saw the campus. Not for the first time, I've been here 10-15 years back visiting somebody, but today I saw the lakeside. I was just witnessing the sunset. Oh my God. Vast, magnanimous. There is, have you guys heard about pantheism? Has anybody heard about pantheism? Okay. Pantheism is going to be probably the religion of the future. It talks about no religion, no prophet, no idol, no frame, no temple. It talks about the source of creativity. The magnitude and the scale of creativity, the beauty, the aesthetics of creativity. the immense expanse and the canvas and the elements of creativity. And it bows to that, becomes one with that, smiles to that, talks to that, laughs with that. So the best place to cry out is to go in the environment, because we are in constant exchange of energy, whether you know it or not, whether you like it or not, whether you're conscious or not. We are constantly exchanging energy with the environment. So breathe out and cry out. Empty yourself there. Nothing man-made there. No personality there. Your ego gets annihilated immediately as you cry out. And there is no ego to react to you as you cry out. But what happens is the environment responds to you. And what is the response? There is a sense of comfort. There is a sense of belonging which comes up, that I am a part of this whole. I should be feeling better. You go back with the resolve. And crying out also declogs your mind, your clutter of thoughts. Your confused mind gets clearer as you cry out, because as you cry out, you breathe easy, you breathe rhythmic. As you breathe rhythmic, your mind comes more into now than being in the past. So, one of the great philosophers of life said that the state of mind is actually a non-existential phenomena, which means if your mind is, you are not. And when your mind is not, you are. Now what is the meaning of it? Is it a koan set by Zen masters? Something like that. Yeah. It is Zen masters' understanding of mind is means what? Your thought process is working. And the thought process is either about the past or about the future, because in the present moment there is awareness, there is response, there is no thinking. Neither there is anxiety of future, nor you are reacting as a bundle of conditioned reflexes out of your past experiences. So human social hypnosis, which means we are collecting so much. This collection doesn't give us good sleep. This collection does not make us breathe easy. We are always disturbed. This collection gives us ego. It makes us react like chemicals. We don't respond to life. We simply keep reacting to life. So crying out to nature brings you back in harmony. It restores back the rhythm, not just of your heart, your breath, but also of the mind. It clears you up. And when your mind gets cleared, the thought process, it attracts the right thought process. Resolves, clarity. A simple example, you take a trough of water, put a lot of muck inside, stir it hard, throw a 1 rupee coin, you will not be able to see a coin. Because there is muck and there is turbulent water. Okay, there is no clarity. Now take a big tub, a 10 feet tub, a barrel kind of a thing, fill water, throw a lot of muck inside, stir it, put a 1 rupee coin and wait. Watch the water settle. Watch the movement of the water, the turbulence settle. Let it become still, let the muck settle, you will see the coin. So this analogy is for a simple reason to make you understand that the clarity of thought process can be attained to consciously by watching yourself, by expressing yourself, by breathing easy, simple breathing exercises, all proven scientifically. Slow breathing exercises, bringing your mind into the present, watching your breath, watching your rhythm fall in place, watching your breath getting refined, more and more refined. Learning to watch, a very powerful tool in the domain of your mind. Because when your mind learns how to watch without getting attached to the thoughts which come into it, without opinionating, without being judgmental, without getting attached, without getting attracted, without getting distracted, without getting disturbed, without jumping in the state of joy, nothing. Simply watching as if you were watching something which is meaningless. As you watch, as you learn how to watch gradually and steadily, the flow of unnecessary thoughts and clutter will relax, reduce, and leave you. Because you're not attracting them, because you're not inviting them, because you're not engaging with them, then what is available is pure consciousness, pure awareness in now, here and now. And in here and now, there is only creativity. The best of painters, the best of sculptors, the best of poets, musicians, who are liberated artists, they are never victim of thought processes. They are always a medium of flow. Flow. And creativity flows out of them. If you tell them, I want this song to be written by tomorrow morning 9 o'clock, a good artist will say, sorry, I can't. I will write it when it occurs to me. There was a Chinese emperor who, asked his Zen masters, who were carpenters also. Some Zen masters were, good at playing flute and different musical instruments, and some Zen masters were philosophers. So he asked the carpenters that I'm looking out for a good dining set. Tables, chairs, everything. I'll come to you guys also now. So, the carpenter says, sire, yes, let's go, let us see, let us watch. The emperor says, what is there to watch? You go in the jungle, cut the bloody trees, get me the furniture I want. Sir, allow us, please, we will try. So the emperor says, let's give them a chance. A month later, they come back, empty-handed. And the emperor says, what happened? You've taken much more time than I expected. Where are my tables and chairs? So said, sir, we went to the jungle. We inquired with the trees, who and how many of you would like to become a chair or a table? But none gave us an indication. But sir, don't worry. There are some trees we are persuading and they are almost there to give us a consent. So allow us some more time. What comes to fore? That everything is full of life. You can't take life for granted. You can't rule over the universe because you're a man and chop everything and kill everything. You have to do it in accordance, in togetherness, with collective consciousness, with the will and consent. And then trust me, the cooperation, the co-creation, the correspondence which will happen will be mind-boggling. Absolutely mind-boggling. So it goes to show that how much of your subtle being is important in terms of thinking, feeling, knowing, influencing, receiving, giving, grace. Many people ask me that what is wellness about? Give me exercise to get weight off my stomach, give me exercise, my hips, my thighs. I say, go to the internet and find. That's the best place. I'm not the right person to ask. But you want to ask me what is wellness all about? I would say, and what is healing all about? I would say healing is sacred. It is sacrosanct. You can be your own healer. Masters and gurus are good, but you can be your own healer. They say, how? It's simply know yourself first. You are carrying multiple personalities within yourself. You are a son, you are a father, you are a doctor, you are a lawyer, you are a PhD, you are a student, you are a professor, you are a dean, you are a lover, you are a husband, you are a controller, you are enslaved. How many personalities we human beings are, messed up and meshed up? We are complexed. So many complexities within our own psyche. So what happens in watching? These complexities get evened out. Your true nature, intrinsic nature comes to fore. Your individuality comes to fore. And what is individuality? The indivisible duality. Duality. Individuality. Your indivisible duality, which means your wholeness, your integratedness, that unique proposition that you're born with, those unique set skills that you're born with, that unique difference that you're going to make to this society, to this mankind, to this universe, is for you to find in your watching, in your time of silence. If you want to become master inventors, master scientists, I will not use the word meditation, I will not use the word God, but find your co-creator within yourself. And you will find. You will have to watch, you will have to wait. And one day it will dawn. It will happen. Don't be in a hurry. This is not a project, so no time frames. Okay? Okay, this is not a project, so no scores. Nobody to judge you, nobody to mark you. You simply have to experience it. So wellness for me is experiential learning. Wellness for me is healing from within. Wellness for me is creative thought process. Attracting creativity impulse, the universal creative impulse. If I can align with that, I can become the next Einstein. If you can align with it, you guys can go beyond Einstein. Don't keep Einstein as your benchmark. Because in the spiritual philosophy it is said, the Buddha says that when you meditate and if I come in your dream, kill me, otherwise you will not go beyond me. You will get stuck at me. Because your imprint is very different from mine. Your path has to be different from mine. Your flowering and blossoming has to be different from mine. So for me, wellness is well-being. It starts at the level of fitness. Fitness gets over in 5 things. Body fat ratio, muscle tone, strength, stamina, flexibility. Fitness is over. Then we come to the word health. Health means, you know, Latin American word, heal thy, heal them, heal thou. Health, to heal. So in health, your immunity comes into play. Your psychological equilibrium comes into play. Then wellness. Emotional quotient comes into play. Cheer, joy comes into play. Thought, attitude comes into play. Your behavior, your constructive behavior, spoken words, compassion, grace comes into play. Then the fourth ladder of evolution, well-being. Ever perpetuating state of your growth and evolution is well-being. So fitness, health, wellness and well-being. Aspire for well-being. Move into yourself, know your intrinsic nature, your USPs, your unique propositions, the elements, the formula of we all are made of 5 elements, but our formulas are different. Know your blueprint, follow it, enjoy. So, wellness is so fundamental, not just to physical health, but very primary to mental health. Very primary to realize that you can be inspired. We use the word inspired so easily, but when it comes to talk about the soul, we shy away. Because we say there is no evidence. I mean, how many of you truly one hand on your heart and say that you can experience the love of your mother, which is very magical? How many of you? Down. Can you substantiate in the laboratory, give any evidence to it? Because there are certain things which beyond science. We have to accept that fact. Why? Because because we are limited. We experience life through only 5 faculties: tactile, olfactory, visual, audio and taste. So now we are getting tits and bits. We are getting tits and bits of information which we collate together and we figure a perception out of it and try and understand life through that prism. Now that is too limited. Okay? So what you ought to do is that feel, create, watch. There is a self which is more stronger than your physical self, than your gross self. If you identify yourself with that self, if your point of reference is yourself, which is non-local, non-branded, no gender, then you become infinite, larger than life. You subscribe to eternity then. Because that's the domain of that self. That's the intrinsic quality and nature of that self. Characteristics of that self. Okay? So identify yourself with that self, be larger than life. Okay, then in your attitude will come optimism. I say positivity is passé. Positive people end up getting disappointed and get fed up with positivity, because sometimes when it doesn't work, you say, I mean, what the F is this? It's not working. I mean, whosoever says positivity was superb. I would say, be optimistic. In your attitude, bring optimism. And if you are awake, if your watchful eye with a very calm and relaxed mind is watching, you will optimize any situation. You will optimize from the weakest situation, and if you are aware, you will not make mistakes. You will build from there, from what you disturbed, from what you destroyed. From what you lost, you will restore, you will mend. But if that is your state consciously, you will be a super creative phenomenon, because you will be a co-creator of life. So let us not have Stephen Hawking or Einstein as our benchmarks. Treat them as heroes, revere them, but try and go beyond them, because you are different. It is not by chance you've come to IIT. It is by design of destiny that you've come to IIT. But now, further realizing the destiny design, you have your legs to walk towards your goal, objective, and you have your hands to build it. Providence will play an important role. But providence bows before the one who is so total in commitment, so sincerely focused, and the devotion level transcends to an extent where the nature begins to cooperate with you to fulfill your dreams. Because in your dream is contained the dream of the larger interest. Was there anything else we missed out from here? Have I addressed it on? Admit mistakes. Haji? Admit mistakes is not a big deal at all. I mean, first of all, I am Mickey Mehta, but in reality, I am a nobody. Every single person here is a nobody. Trust me, if I were to meet tomorrow President Obama to address him on something, his wellness needs, I will call him, hi Barack. You know, so this is not out of arrogance. It is out of freedom. Dealing one-on-one. No inhibitions. No ego, no arrogance. Both. So admitting mistakes is what? Admitting mistakes. To err is human, but to forgive is divine, and to accept is more holier than thou. Because you become larger than life. You know, I sincerely, truly can apologize to my peons, to my drivers, because we are simple mortals, simple human beings. We are all equals. I mean, it may be coincidental that we are on a different plane, socio-economic plane, or we are in a different position in life, but that's it, and that's it. So first things first, when you annihilate your ego and accept your mistake, what thing happens is you establish a bond. You build a bridge. You have one more person on your side in life, you have one more well-wisher than otherwise. So you have attracted one more person, not detracted one more person. Now this is not a strategy to fulfill your growth, networking. This is an emotional connect with fellow human. You know, if I would by mistake kick a stone, trust me, you know, it would seem crazy, but I might seek forgiveness and apology. Because why should I even kick a stone in my ignorance? You know, I should treat everything with reverence and respect. That is what pantheism is all about. Respect the creative force, revere the creative force, surrender to the creative impulse, universal impulse. And it is said that when a drop of water surrenders to the ocean, it doesn't lose its own entity but becomes an ocean rather. It becomes larger. What do you have to lose? It's everything to gain. And forget lose and gain, because that calculation all the time will make you drive berserk in your mind. So accepting gives you great strength. Rather, it's an attribute, it's a virtue. Accept your mistake prima facie, seek forgiveness, bow, apologize, seek pardon, mend your ways, and course correct. Be so alive, be so conscious, be so aware that you can immediately course correct. It's navigating your life, no big deal. You be the pilot, you be the driver. So, seeking forgiveness brings liberation, emotional liberation. There's a very good author, her name is Hayes. What's her first name? I've forgotten, who's written a book. And she's created some very good rationale, scientific rationale, that extremely arrogant and egoistic people have stiff necks and spondylitis. Because every state of disease is psychosomatic, is first in your consciousness, and then it takes a physical manifestation. So every state of dis-ease, D-I-S, is its opposite of ease. It takes birth in your consciousness. And if you are aware, if you are watching, you will correct. If you correct, you will grow. If you grow, you will evolve. And tomorrow, who knows, there will be 1 person or 10 people out of here. The world will stand and recognize and acknowledge 100 years down the line for some invention. And so be it. Tathastu. Any question and answers, ladies and gentlemen? Anybody? Brilliant students, please.
How about the age factor?
Sir, tell me. Age is a perceptual artifact. It's a complete perceptual artifact. It's all in the mind. There's a lovely saying which says, one never grows old. When one stops growing, one becomes old. Don't stop growing, sir. Death has no right on life. Death is the culmination of your doing. Okay? Death is the culmination of your disease. Death is the culmination of your doing. Make sensible choices. In awareness, be in light. Find your light. Correct yourself. Science says that in 1 year's time, you're a new body. Completely. 7 days for stomach lining to change for new. 30 days for your skin to change for new. 90 days musculoskeletal structure to change for new. 365 days for 99% of your bodies to change for new, except for collagen, cartilage, which sometimes takes 18 months, 24 months. It's just statistical science, I'm just stating. So change yourself for new, sir. You'll be young again. Maybe it might take 3 years. 30 years of abuse will not go in a jiffy. 50 years of abuse will take 50 months. Doesn't matter. I mean, who's in a hurry? Where is the stress? Where is the project report you have to submit? There's no grading there. No aggregates. Be in charge. Okay? Age is reversible. So you don't die to disease. You can seek Ichha Mrityu, which means, okay, there has to be a reason to die or reason to pass away. You can only die to disease, but you can pass away without disease. You can choose to pass away. There are so many deaths or passing away reported that a person had a meal, had a lovely time with the family, had a hearty laugh, spoke, didn't wake up in the morning, there was a smile on the face. Mission accomplished, soul fulfilled, bye-bye all. No disease is needed to kill me. Why? So, diseases are reversible. There is one Elizabeth Blackburn from California University, UCLA it is called. She did studies on telomeres. Okay? And she said that human aging can be reversed or stalled because 95% of our genes are now said to be undeterministic. Only 5% are deterministic. So to keep cursing your grandfathers always for whatever happens to you is not correct. Because 95% of our genes are undeterministic and they are simply waiting in the field which is so alive for you to influence the change. Your thought, your behavior, your attitude. These three pillars can influence the change and the genes will change in a year or two. The memory of the old pattern will go and the new memory you will start building up for new growth. I mean, today people who are terminally ill, with people with liver cancer and people with pancreas, etc., some treatments have 52-week cycle. Now there's a reason behind it. Why 52-week cycle? Because for 52 weeks they badger you so that the new tissues born are not from the old memory pattern and all the new tissues are fresh. So it takes almost a year's time for the cells to forget the memory also, disconnect. But now that is external biochemistry working on you. Can you imagine that if you were to do it with your attitude, thought, behavior, words, love, feeling, emotions, and choosing super lifestyle, spending time with nature, abundance, energy, I mean, you could be the next best thing mankind could ever know. Rather. So, sir, have I answered your age dilemma? If that is so. I urge to you, sir, please, take it up, not as a challenge, because only fools accept challenge. Take it up as an appeal, so that you can do and live such a life which is so exemplary that your 8,000 students can watch you in the next forthcoming years. And you can influence 6.2 billion people in time to come with your example. I have your word. High five. Bolo.
I have a question that sometime if you apologize, then you may lose your status, you may lose your position, there may be some danger. So what to do?
The danger is to keep your status and position. Because till the time you are in the position, there are 20 more wanting to dislodge you from that position. So, if you be positionless, then there is no fear, no fall, no insecurity. Holding on with insecurity gives you so much stress. I would rather breathe very easy. So better is to apologize. When you become smaller, so-called smaller in perception in your act, in your own eyes, but you are becoming larger in perception in the eyes of the world. Biggest kings of the world have only grown larger with their humility, and the largest kings have fallen only because of their arrogance and pride. Got it? Try. Because with the annihilation of your ego, your creativity goes up. There's a direct connection. Because creativity is a part of the flow of energy and the creative process towards you, and ego is a door which keeps it shut. Openness, open-mindedness, and the biggest mantra I can give you today to all you IITians is, instead of asking why, start asking why not. The moment there is a shift of paradigm and you say why not, you become a part of increasing immense, eternal, infinite potential and possibilities. You increase your probability amplitude to make everything happen. Whatever you think can happen. If your attitude is why not. Got it? And nothing with arrogance and challenge. Everything with inspiration. That should be the position.
Apology without fear and sincerity.
Sincerity. No, fellow human after all, no? I was talking about an apology to the stone. But here, of course, fellow human, you can go and hug. Building bridges, connecting dots, well-wishers, building your love, plethora, spectrum of attraction. You're creating your magnetic field. See, are you embodied magnetic impulse? Do you agree with me? We are all embodied magnetic impulses. We are a bundle of currents and circulations and polarities within ourselves. Do you agree or not? Are we a part of the electromagnetic field? Okay. Is there a correlation between the field and us? The other fellow human is a part of the field. You just have to correct the switches to make the current flow towards you better. The flow of life force has to be just regulated. It's in your hands. Don't keep your hands in the pockets, my dear people. Use them to build. Everything is about building, connecting. Right from connecting dots to connecting people, to connecting with environment, and to connect with the whole universe. And trust me, the kind of breathing I told you, that when you breathe, you connect with the throb of the universe at that time. You come in rhythm with the universe. You align with the creative force. How many of you have heard about ground state? Zero energy field? It's not my subject, but I'm very passionate about it. But whatever little I know, minuscule, you know, there is a vibration at ground state. And if you align with that vibration, you connect with that vibration, you can become a master co-creator because you're listening to the existence. Your ears are on the grounds. I mean, it's just not coincidental that we had Krishnas and Christ and Muhammad and Zarathustra's of the world. It is because these people went beyond their five senses. They transcended reality. They went into a domain which others dread to go because they're holding on to their ego. They were free, they were liberated, they were full of love, full of appreciation, optimistic attitude. They only knew how to create, not to destroy. They only knew how to build, not to break. They only knew how to love, not to hate. And love is the single most creative energy. If any of you wants to become a super scientist, first become a good lover. Because when you become a lover, you become an artist. And if you become an artist before you become a scientist, you will be a phenomenal scientist who will be revered and loved, not just respected. You may not get a Nobel laureate, doesn't matter. But for millenniums to come, people will know you, a scientist who knew how to love, who was not only objective, but he took into consideration subjectivity into the learning and knowing process. That is a true scientist. Okay? If I've overstepped my mandate, please tell me. Why are challenges not good? See, excuse my language, fools challenge and idiots accept. There is no necessary for somebody, see, for fun's sake you're doing this is my ice bucket challenge, I am Rohan so and so, I am taking this ice bucket. Now when you do it, you enjoy it. But when you look at your own self doing it on the video, then probably. Okay, now, coming to the point that in a happy environment of good friend circle, there's a good get together and you're connected on social media, this is happening and I don't condemn it. It's nothing wrong in it. But challenges of life, somebody says, I challenge you to do that. Thank you very much. You can take your own challenge. Challenge yourself first. Why me? So, where's the need of accepting any challenge? And where's the point in challenging anyone in the first place? I mean, is it a creative proposition? Is it a constructive behavior? I mean, what it is, if you sit and assess, evaluate, I mean, is there a bigger objective outcome? Is there any larger interest being served in you giving a challenge, somebody taking a challenge? A challenge can somehow disturb you, destroy things here, there, disharmonize, discord. Brother? Love you.
Challenging oneself, like keeping targets, that is okay.
Okay, now, you know what? There's a little confusion. Don't challenge yourself, motivate yourself. Why challenge? Because challenge will bring violence, aggression. Violence means not killing. Violence towards yourself. You will stop laughing, you'll stop eating, drinking. You'll become a weakling. Your thought process will diminish. You'll be a dwindling phenomena. I mean, is the challenge hurting or helping? Motivate yourself. Okay, don't tip the balance. Eat well, nourish yourself so well, Because the food influences your thought process and your creativity. Food can disturb you, irritate you, upset you, elevate you, elate you, make you happy. Food can do many things. Okay? So motivate. Yeah, what's your name? Harsh. Don't be harsh. Okay. Somebody? Anybody else? Haan ji, kaun hai? Yeah, one second. Lady, just. Okay, ladies first. Come on. Up. Be a little loud, please. Up.
Like, what to do? Some thoughts are not going like out of your mind and constantly taking your time. It becomes very mechanical to accept your mind, like, oh, constantly.
I have a lovely solution. When we go to a social do, okay, either we are standing with a glass, we are looking around, or we are sitting on a sofa, couch, we are looking around. Now what happens when you are looking around? You are engaging, you are inviting, you are attracting. Now what happens when you stop looking around? So when you look around, people will come, hey, hi, how have you been? My God, you lost so much of weight. How did you do it? Oh shit, even I want to try. You know that typical conversation, my God, what did you do to your hair? You know, lovely color, lovely. So these frivolities come up when you engage. So, as I explained earlier, that when you watch your mind as thoughts come in and thoughts go out, don't engage, don't invite, don't attract, don't distract, don't judge, don't opinionate. Then what happens? Now, when you are in a state of ignoring, neutral, okay, if somebody does come to you, hey, hi man, you look gorgeous, and you're just looking and just watching. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye. Thank you. That person will leave your side. So what will happen is, as you ignore, as you simply watch in neutral gear, very gradually, even if somebody wants to come and sit on the sofa and to do polite conversation, hi, how have you been? This, that, simply watch. Or simply sit. Neutral. No get lost kinds, no come and sit kinds. Simply watch. No feelings, neutral. And as you sit for 3 hours, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 10 minutes, that person will say, okay, good luck, bye. So what has happened? You have remained neutral, you have ignored, so there is no attraction. In your field, in your magnetic field, you're not aligning, you're not attracting, you're not repelling either. See, I'm saying neutral, not pushing, not shooing away. Because repulsion is a force of energy which disturbs you too. I am saying neutral. So in your being neutral, in your watching your thoughts, it will happen so, because your mind is like a sky, clouds will come, clouds will go, clouds will come, clouds will go, but there will come a time when you don't invite and attract clouds, your mind will be like a clear sky. And you will be in pure awareness, pure consciousness, no thoughts. As I said, mind can only be either in the past or in the present. In the moment, mind is not. Because when your mind is, you are not. And when your mind is not, you are whole, complete, undivided, integrated, collected. When we say, give me some space, let me get collected, or, let me breathe, we have misunderstood space so badly. Space is the biggest builder, biggest creator. Discontinuity. If we see a film, earlier there used to be 18 frames in one film, and between each frame there used to be a black discontinuity. But when that discontinuity and continuity ran at a high speed, we could see it as one motion. But for every discontinuity, even earlier when the gears shifted from first to second, second to third, third to fourth, it had to go through neutral. This discontinuity is very important to go to the next step. So in space there is discontinuity, then going back fresh. Okay, in space you reorient, you recollect, you reintegrate, you regenerate, you rejuvenate, you revitalize. Any other words with re?
So, feeling neutral is there is no emotion.
Arey bhai, I'm not asking you to be heartless. I'm asking you to be non-judgmental. Emotions, yeah, there, you're full of love. Full of love for yourself. Full of love for the existence. But you are in the state of breathing it easy, relaxed, and watching. Not jumping. Not connecting. Not disconnecting. When I say neutral means not disconnecting. When I say neutral means simply neutral. Watch. Be full of love. Keep overflowing with love. And watch in love. You know?
Is there a difference between being in neutral state and that being indifferent?
See, shunyata, shunyam, what we say is neutral. Being shunyam in the drashta, be a drashta, sakshi. No, I understand. Indifference is the perception, is not your being. And perceptions change gradually. You understand? Because in stillness, first people can see little, then they can see more, then they can see more, then they can see more, then they will see the whole picture. The more you are still, you will see a better picture of yourself, and the more you are still, others will be able to see a better picture of yourself again. You know, because what happens is when you are still, the opposite ego drops. There is nothing to react to. Because when you are neutral, what do I react to? I have no ego. You've annihilated my ego. You know, because reaction gets flared up. But you do something and I don't react. Your energy will die somewhere. You know, you'll try and do more, I still don't react. We all need to reach that point. I'm not saying I've reached that point yet, but I'm trying. I have started. I'm getting there.
What if in that case you are asked to respond? Because if it's a debate.
See, brother, debate, I will use the word deliberation. Deliberate, not debate. Discuss. You can only argue with a wall, you can't argue with a human being. Come on. Discuss. Deliberate yourself. Deliberation means deliberate. Have your point of view, because when there are conflicting points of views, then each and every person is listening with empathy. Okay, let's see what he has to say. Maybe he has something which will add value to my knowledge and wisdom. So in deliberation, there is only growth. In argument, there is conflict. Egoistic people argue because they want to prove a point. But non-like-minded people, when they deliberate, they grow in that deliberation. Everybody grows. So each one takes away something, a thing or two, because the best of each comes to fore, and it becomes a potluck, and everybody goes home happy. There is no winner, there is no loser. Got my point?
No, my question is like, suppose you are in an argument and somebody is wanting to argue with you. You cannot say that, you cannot sit indifferently, right?
It's not indifferent. If you make a point, I mean your phrase, your tone, your choice of words, fine. But if you think that you're hitting the wall and it's not going anywhere, you can always, I rest my case. I rest my case. Simple. Be submissive, yaar.
So to be ignorant or neutral, we have to have self-control over our...
Not ignorant, ignoring.
Okay, we have to have self-control over our mind. So how to develop that self-control?
The word control is the worst word ever. There's nothing you can ever control. You can watch. Have you seen this? That when kids are playing around and you scream at them, you shout at them, they seldom listen, they listen whatever. But let them do whatever and you watch them from far. There will come a moment in some 4-5 minutes or 10 minutes when suddenly their attention will be drawn towards you because you've created a contact. There is a magnetic field. Your intention is to watch. You're putting attention in the field on the child. It's growing, becoming strong on the child, and the child is getting distracted from whatever the child is doing. The child will watch you. And in your watching, there will be a shift in consciousness in the child's behavior, and the child will more likely will change the behavior. You got my point? So watching does wonders, and watching with empathy and compassion. Sorry, again? Have I addressed your question?
Thank you.
Sorry, what was the question again? Tell me.
The question was, suppose you are in an argument and they are asking you to respond.
Yeah,
You don't want to respond.
I'm asking you to respond. You do respond, you must respond.
How to respond without causing that violence in my mind?
No. Why? I mean, there's no violence, there's no need for violence. You're responding. Reacting could be violent. Responding is never violent. Because when you respond, you're responding compassionately. There is empathy, there is equal respect to the fellow talker, fellow listener. And it's sharing. It's a two-way thing, three-way thing, four-way thing. But once again, sorry, what was your question you said?
Sir, I want to rephrase my question. There can be some cases where I might want to, suppose, control or discipline my thinking. In that case, how can I do that?
That's what I'm saying. There's nothing to control. You can watch. You can watch your mind. And in your watching, trust me, it will occur to you, your impulses to change the behavior. In your watching will be the shift in consciousness in your own being. In your own being, there will be a shift in consciousness, because as we watch others, there's a shift in consciousness there when they notice us watching. Similarly, in your own watching, there will be a shift of consciousness in your own being, and you will change course.
I must divert my attention, right?
Watch. Because, I mean, how many times you'll take diversion? Watch. Simply watch. I mean, what did I do? What did I say? I mean, was I incorrect politically here that I heard? Okay, let me rephrase. Let me correct. Let me course correct. Let me apologize. Okay, let me speak better. Let me choose my words better, tone better. Whatever. Respond better. Yes?
Somebody's getting hurt and somebody's. How do you draw a line in between that? I mean, there's a point where you feel that I cannot actually make everybody happy.
But do you really want to make everybody happy? That's the question.
Yeah, obviously.
Okay.
I don't like people around me to be sad or something, but like in pretext of keeping them happy, sometimes some people get hurt and someone. I mean, I don't know how to handle in such.
You know what? Where nothing works, what works the best is being there, completely there, but be a witness to it, don't participate in it. Do you get my point? You be there and you be there for everyone. But how many of you have seen Avatar? Okay, you must know that nature never takes sides, it promotes and supports balance. So what I would tell you is, be there completely, your all heart. Don't take sides. Okay? But just be there, don't participate. That is if you're talking about discussion and arguments, because somebody has a point of view, the other has other point of view. But some objective, subjective, light discussion, and if you want to express, feel uninhibited. Never feel, don't restrain yourself from expressing yourself. Unless you feel that this is not the forum, it may get volatile, then let your wisdom prevail on you and just restrain, hold yourself there. It's always, it would be foolhardiness always to go out and say, why should I hold myself? I am in the 21st century, student, and I have to speak my point. But wait, when, where, how. Everything is a matter of wisdom, understanding, perspective, where, how, when. A simple example between a young girl and a young guy, when they fall in love, and when they contemplate to propose each time, they contemplate. I mean, when, where, how, environment, scenario, ambience, your mood, his mood. Don't you assess that? Same wisdom is applied when you're handling relationships and people. That you have to have the wisdom to know when, how, what, why, whatever. Hold, release. Yeah? Sorry, that lady behind, what, some lady behind?
On the antagonism and the necessity.
Sorry?
Can you please comment on the antagonism and the necessity?
To antagonize somebody.
Politically correct and the simplicity of the life and the antagonism between two.
Okay. What was the word used? Antagonism. Antagonism. Okay. Very simple. To be politically correct is being a hypocrite. First thing. Is it very clear? You are not yourself because you are trying to please. But sensible phrasing of words, choice of words, passing on the same meaning is being wise. Do you understand? You must see nothing that will instigate, nothing that will antagonize, nothing that will make volcanoes erupt. Because if you are very conscious and aware in your behavior, in your conduct, not compelled by the society as what it expects, but as your choice, as the way you would want to conduct yourself with grace. Matter of grace. You get my point? It's not to be politically correct, but to be graceful. Right? So, instead of being a hypocrite, you are a compassionate, graceful person. There is no need consciously to antagonize anybody or no need to be unnecessarily politically correct all the time. Be yourself, but in being yourself, use the words of wisdom, the tone, the body language, and grace, compassion. Have I answered your question? Thank you. Should we? अरे one more lady. Ladies को refuse नहीं कर सकते.
Very creative people have met with very tragic ends.
Okay.
They have died early, they have committed suicide. So what is the correlation between, a tragic end and a creative?
Honestly, people living in ignorance and darkness, there's a good chance most of them will meet with a tragic end, but it could be very coincidental that some of them may be creative. You got my point? That people living in darkness, in ignorance, 99% will meet an end which is not so pleasant, but it will be coincidental that they could be creative also. But when creativity reaches crescendo, that is a time when you have evolved. I mean, normal people have creativity also, yaar. Don't we all sing in the bathroom? Don't we all know how to manipulate our parents and husbands and wives? I mean, normal people are also creative. So, it is not that bad people cannot be creative. But what I am saying is, consciously creative people will only grow, evolve and enlighten, enrich, empower. And otherwise, what you say? Yeah? When the balance is tipped, when you cannot handle all the creativity or the success it brings to you. Maybe. So that again is darkness, ignorance. Fallen from grace, maybe.
Any exercise to improve your expression, like you said, people nowadays not good at expression. Any exercise or anything?
Just tell your fellow person, I love you. Hug him. Exercise number 1. Doing it with your heart. Heart. Okay. Now don't catch any chick out there and say, I love you, and say, Vicky says, exercise. Exercise number 1. Just joking, huh, guys? I love you all. I love to meet people who are pursuing science because you are the future this world will stand up to, wake up to, appreciate, glorify our lives better. So I wish you so much of good luck and God bless and so much of creativity and so much of happiness and joy. that may you add maximum value to this world and to this mankind, but don't forget the environment as you do it. All right? So as you optimize, as you maximize, as you materialize, as you supersize, Mickey Mice. You know, I want my friend Mahesh to speak for 2 minutes. I'll tell you what. Tell him what to speak also. Mahesh bhai. He's my fellow brother. You know, science student and engineer, but deeply into subtle sciences, you know. Just from your heart, tell them how important is love, emotions and other things, you know, which sometimes science may fail to understand. But one day they will.
Personally thankful to Mickey Sahab, Shivani and Urjit sir. It was a dream to talk at IIT, honest to God. I have come so many times in this forum, so many times, and never got a chance to speak. होता है सब किस्मत है, ईश्वर की कृपा.
भड़ास निकालो, भड़ास निकालो.
माँ कसम बोलता हूँ, नहीं, बिल्कुल भड़ास नहीं है. मेरे को IIT में एडमिशन नहीं मिला था. I'm a Sada Patel College of Engineer. Okay, no regrets. Again, I didn't know IIT. I was blessed. I was to become a doctor at one stage of my life. Kasam khuda ki, I have seen postmortems. I have seen heartbeat. I have sold medical equipments where I have measured heartbeat of 8th week fetus, 10th week fetus. I am a science guy. I talk upon attitudes, emotions, value systems, belief systems, and your perception. It's all within you. This is the best engineered product ever created by so-called, if there is any God.
Yeah, very good.
इससे बड़ा इंजीनियरिंग मार्वल नहीं हो सकता. दो ही जात है, स्त्री और पुरुष. Same hardware, different softwares. Dangerously different softwares. Uncodable, heavily coded, genetically, biologically, chemically, physically, intellectually, spiritually, it will go on and on. But to cut long story short, when I talk about value systems, my friend, simple I say, love what you do. Love what you do and do what you love. Then there's no work. It's all fun. And it's difficult to achieve that. In Gita, they say, Shraddhavana labhate gnana. Shraddha, unconditional love, somebody told. It's difficult. Okay.
Thank you.
So thanks a lot and have a nice day.
And rest of it, you will, if you see the film Three Idiots, you will know what it is about, what we are trying to say. Thank you.
What a wonderful evening that was. I would like to thank Mickey Mehta for contributing his time for our cause today. And since he so generously waived his speaking fees, we were able to have the exhibition outside, which I hope all of you will take the time out to see the exhibition that the students have put up. Every time I hear you speak, Mickey, I end up being very inspired. I really liked your point about being complete and then reaching wholeness and using your intellect with empathy and not without. I think as psychologists, we say some of these words, and of course, he's termed it in, say, more spiritual words as well. And apart from that, with his whole fitness thing, you never talked about what your secret was for.
But that I did
for your youth.
But that I did for my youth.
Nobody asked that question.
No,
that was my
science.
key question.
Okay. Secret of youth: be a lover, not a warrior.
Excellent. So anyhow, thanks a lot, Mickey. Thanks a lot for a lovely talk. I also must thank the alumni from batch of 1986 who have graciously donated for enhancing counseling activities in IIT Bombay. And I would like to thank Professor Yagnik, our Dean Student Affairs, who seems to always think that my ideas and visions of counseling are too big to be contained in an office. So insist I squat on the steps of SAC, rickety gulu chairs and dosa lounge to spin my dreams for counseling. But he has consistently believed in all the proposals I have brought to his office. and supported them relentlessly. And for that, I'm very grateful to you, Urjit. My student volunteers, I don't know how many, Pranay, are you guys here? Yeah. My student volunteers from the Institute Cultural Council envisioned the photography and the design fest of IIT Bombay. They've brought my vision of using visual arts in communicating mental health issues. And for that, I would like you to see the exhibition outside. So a big thanks for your team. I would like to now request Professor Yagnik to give away a token of appreciation to Mickey for coming to our thing today. Do you want to? Whatever, it might picture better here. Come on.
Sir, thank you so much. I think this deserves a hug.
Fantastic.
You know, the biggest gift I got today was a visit to the lake. Trust me, it was amazing. I mean, guys, find time out, go to the lake, spend time in the woods. क्या बोलते हैं?
Crocodiles are there.
हाँ.
Not
अरे in the lake नहीं भाई. Okay, love you all. If you've enjoyed, if you want to comment on whatever I said, please come on to my Facebook. What's my Facebook page?
Mickey Mehta.
/Facebook. Yeah? And I will respond. Okay? Thank you. Good, bad, ugly, feel free.
Mickey? Actually, Pranay, the students have also prepared a sort of small letter of thanks for you.
That's so good. That's so good. Thank you so much.
That's Pranay Kotwal, the secretary for the Institute Cultural
Thank you so
Counseling.
much. It was a beautiful moment. Oh, beauty.
Thank you, sir.
It should be vision eternity. Thank you.
Look out at the exhibition.
I will.
Oh, it seems by popular demand you have to hug him as well.
Please don't misunderstand me.
Thanks very much. And please have tea, I think, after this as well.